Thank you guys for joining me today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. I'm Jeff Phillips. Got something good here for you today. As always, I try to bring you videos that are going to be helpful to you, something you can really use, and something you can really appreciate. Okay, here it is, guys. As always, I'm always on the testing trend, especially as we're getting closer to hunting season here, of course. And testing hunting arrows is kind of a non-stop thing, okay, out of various bows to see what really works well and what doesn't work so well. Okay, guys, I have an absolute winner here, and when I show you this arrow that I have in my hand, I'm going to show you an absolute awesome arrow, totally awesome arrow. An arrow that flies broadheads tremendous and very good penetration with very little wind resistance. Now, I tested this arrow out of a 50-pound recurve, okay? So I immediately, as I began the testing for this 50-pound recurve, I looked for a 400 spine. I have a 27-inch draw, so I knew I wanted to shoot a 400 spine with some decent point weight, but yet remain fairly flat, fairly fast, really good shooting arrow. So I began my testing, and guys, I culled several arrows that just didn't make the cut. They didn't make the cut, but I'm going to show you one that did. Absolutely. There it is. Axis Traditional. This is an Easton Axis Traditional 400. Okay. Now, what's so special about an Axis 400? Well, there's a lot of things. Number one, they're tough. They have great penetration, very little wind resistance. They're a 204 inside diameter arrow, and they fly amazing. They really fly amazing. And what's even better is this particular arrow in my hand, which I wound up cutting to 29 inches, carbon to carbon, shot out of several bows. Really, really well with broadheads, okay? Not just one broadheads, but multiple broadheads. All right, so what I've set up for this one here, guys, I'm gonna show you this one in particular. This 400 spine Easton Axis Traditional, I put the stainless half outs on it, okay? Now, they come with the hit insert, which is just a hit insert is just your little stock aluminum insert. You can get 100 grain in brass hit inserts, but I'm not a big fan of the hit insert system. Why? Because it does not protect the end of the arrow. There's no protection whatsoever from shock against the very end of that carbon. In other words, your broadhead is seated right against it, and number two, the diameters are different. Because the outside diameter of this arrow is smaller than a standard 5/16 broadhead, like this Magnus, it's smaller, you don't have anything to convert that. Well, when you use the half outs, which are simply these little half out stainless inserts. These, now they are from an aluminum, but the aluminum is just entirely too light. You really can't add any decent FOC with the aluminum, and they're not as tough. Stainless is the way to go, guys. The stainless half outs are a very good choice. However, there is one even better than that. Even better, but you'll have to spend a little bit more money, but they are awesome, guys. And they are the Victory. Now, Victory makes these, but they are perfectly compatible with this arrow. This is the Shock stainless steel, the Victory Shock SS. And these are 80 grains, I do believe. These are 80 grain, solid stainless steel outserts. And what do I like better about them? Well, look at the length, guys, different length. Look how much further that this Victory goes down in the shaft to protect the front of that shaft than the standard ones do. That's why I like these, guys. Now, they are not cheap. These things are relatively 50 bucks a dozen. They are not cheap, but they're extremely durable, and they actually have a just a little bit, if you can see, an area that goes back over the shaft. In other words, it doesn't just butt to the shaft, it completely goes over the end to protect the end of the shaft. That's why they call them a shock outsert, okay? Which your standards do not have, okay? But these are still a good option. They fly extremely well, they're tough. It's just what you want to spend on your build, okay? But with this particular arrow, as I tested, I put the stainless factory outserts on it by Easton. These are Easton outserts, okay? put them on, shot it with a field tip with a Luminoc. Total arrow weight, guys. I'm gonna weigh this arrow for you right here. Total arrow weight, 550.2 grains. So a 550 grain arrow. Very good weight, very good weight, especially out of a 50-pound bow. Now, as I mentioned, it shoots very well out of a 48 at 28 bow. Now, I'm only drawing 27 inches. Therefore, I'm about 48 pounds on this recurve that I'm going to show you, and I'm probably 46 pounds there, give or take, on the little longbow. But this arrow shoots out of both bows amazing with broadheads. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to shoot it a couple times. I'm going to shoot it with a field tip. I'm going to shoot it with a broadhead. And hopefully you'll be able to see just how well this arrow flies. And it is a real performer. It is, guys. Lots of good arrows out there, I promise you that. Lots of good arrows. But when I run up on something very good, that works extremely well, that's readily available, that you can go online and buy and put together, or order from, say, 3 Rivers or whatever, and have them cut, inserted, anything you want. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm trying to hook you up with some good options for this coming hunting season that you can get your hands on, okay? I'm gonna shoot the Recurve first, because this is the bow that I originally tested this arrow out of. A 550 grain, 400 Axis Traditional. Check this out, guys. Boy, did that fly good. And the Luminoc really shows, especially late in the evening, it shows if there's anything going on. I mean, we're talking bullet straight. And I did bare shaft this before I built it. I bare shaft tuned it out of this recurve. And it shot just as good out of this longbow, okay? So that's all I did with it. And that told me that I can run, and actually I bumped up my point weight a little bit more on it, and it was still fine. So it gave me the option to shoot a 150 grain head or 175 grain head with the stainless outsert in it, and still tune perfectly for the bow. So that's a really good all-around option, especially if you're shooting 150 grain heads and you want something that's easily to get, like a Magnus Stinger. These are the 150 grain buzz cuts. I love them. These you can get your hands on. The Swamp Sharks, the Simmons Swamp Sharks, these are 175 grain. Those are 2 heads that I shoot a lot. So I'm gonna grab this one right quick. And I'm gonna shoot this Magnus on it and show you how good it shoots with the Magnus Stinger. Hang on. Let's shoot this thing at some distance. Show you how it really flies. Man, oh my gosh, is that beautiful or what? There's nothing prettier than perfect arrow flight with a broadhead on the front of it. Whew. That is a setup, my friends. That's a setup. All right, I got the Magnus Stinger 150 grain buzz cut screwed on the front of this arrow. Let's shoot it out of the recurve now. Show you guys how this thing flies compared to a field tip. Same exact spot. It is not literally 1/4 of an inch from where the field tip hit. Flew just like a field tip. And that's what you want, guys. You don't want a combination that steers right or left or whatever. You don't want to have to knock tune and chase that issue and all that. You want something simple, like build the arrow, screw the broadhead on, and shoot it. Now, bare shaft tuning, of course, that's always recommended, and I do. I recommend bare shaft tuning any shaft to get it at least close. Once you've done that, they're going to shoot broadheads really well. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to shoot it out of this longbow, which is 2 pounds less, a completely different bow, different configuration. I'm going to shoot it out of it and show you how it does with that one too. But it is in that target as straight as it can be, right in that little dot. That's what you want, guys. So hang on, let me grab it right quick and we'll do the longbow right fast. All right, guys, longbow. let's load it in the little Longbow 48 at 28 and show you just how good the Longbow likes this exact arrow. This is why I like them, guys. Here we go. What more can you ask for? Seriously, guys, what more can you ask for out of a hunting arrow that hits that consistent? It is field tip accuracy, beautiful flight, and really, really good penetration. I mean, that target is designed for compounds, and you're not supposed to even be able to shoot through it, but it is shooting halfway through it, and it's not even designed to be able to do that. It has an inner core, not supposed to be able to, but that Magnus just plows right through it like it's nothing, and that thing's been shot probably 100 times. So anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to bring to you today. The Easton Axis Traditional is an excellent choice if you want something readily available, not terribly expensive, that has really, really good performance as far as broadhead flight, penetration, all-out toughness. But you got to build them like I've got this one, guys. You got to put the stainless on the end. Now, I love the way that the 150 grains shoot on them, because that's giving me about, what, 225-ish on the front. That's plenty. I'm shooting a 29-inch arrow. I don't need any more than that on that arrow. The arrow's still flying really good and flat, but it's hitting hard. Enough to kill anything, guys, and I'm happy with it. So check it out. If you get a chance to, get you some Axis Traditionals, build them up like this, and I promise you, you will be happy. Now, if you're under that weight that I'm shooting now, let's just say you have a 45-pound bow or a 40 to 45, go with a 500. That 500 is easily going to handle some serious point weight, but that 400 is doing excellent out of these upper 40s bows, doing really, really good, and I couldn't be happier, guys. Love the Luminox also. That really makes them fun to shoot, plus you can see where it's going. So thank you guys for joining me today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. I'm Jeff Phillips, and I love you guys. If you have not subscribed, hit that button. We got a lot of cool stuff coming your way. Getting ready for the hunting season, so we're going to be doing a lot of arrow testing, broadhead testing, complete setup, some bare shaft tuning, some tips and tricks. I'm going to share a lot of things with you that hopefully will make this journey a little bit easier for you guys. Till next time, as always, God bless.